Hey guys, hey. So I know I usually have like some sort of little gag, at the start here, but I'm kind of recording this late at night and I don't want to wake anybody up. So instead, I'm just going to put a little something right here.
Hong Kong.
Not that funny.
Okay, so hopefully that was as good as the gags usually are, and we can go ahead and start the episode. All right, bye. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Media Hunt. We got a lot of exciting stuff to go over today, including what probably is my best CD haul that I've had from Goodwill in like 5 years. I had one when I was like 15 or 16 where I got like 10 or 12 really good like grunge 90s albums, but this is awesome, the stuff that I got. So let's just slam right into it, boys.
You heard about Sean, right?
No, what happened to Sean?
Well, you know he was selling acid, right?
No, man, I told you, $25, man. $25. It's inflation.
All right, up top we got two things we're going to discuss. One, I don't have herpes, okay? These are just pimples that are on my face. I was in the hospital earlier this month, believe it or not. And when I left the hospital, they put me on a steroid. And I did not realize when they put you on a steroid that you gain weight and get pimples. It's like second puberty almost. So my back and my face was just absolutely pizza-faced. So we are on the good end of it now. But yeah, if I get any comments down below, hey, dude, you need to go get your herpes check, I am going to find your IP address. I will find your address, and I'll kill you. Secondly, no video games this time. I know everybody is sad. Who was really enjoying the $5 to $10 PS3 games that I was picking up, but I didn't get any this month. I just didn't find any. I got like a few really big hauls this month, but I wasn't doing a whole bunch of like going around and stuff, so I just didn't find anything. And also, and I think I've mentioned this before, I'm just getting to the point where anyway that I don't know. I have the bulk of what I want, and the things that I don't want or do want, I can't find them in the correct condition, or they're above that like $75 price tag. So eventually we're gonna get like one or two really cool things, but it's just gonna take a while. With that being said, we do have one movie, and that is Real Life by Albert Brooks. This is the Criterion 4K edition of it. I'm super excited to watch this. I haven't seen any of Brooks' other movies that they've been thrown in the collection. This one sounded the most interesting. I do want to get Defending Your Life as well, especially if this is good. So I'm super excited to see this. All right. Let's move into the records.
Finished high school. Thank God. Now it's your time to do good. This rebellion things you're going through, I understand it. Not completely.
All right, starting off strong with the records. We got Live from the Dentist's Office by Injury Reserve. Injury Reserve is one of my favorite rap groups. This is probably one of my favorite rap albums. I like Floss more, but this has a lot of super catchy songs. 45, It's Whatever, Dude. All those classic Injury Reserve songs. Personally, I would really like the box set. In fact, I was one of those poor saps that was waiting in line to get the box set and was basically looking at a screen that said, you're not going to get the box set. And I cry every day that I look through my Discogs want list and still see it going for $250, knowing that I can't have it. But hey, I'm glad I have Live from the Dentist's Office, and I'm glad I have Floss on some kind of physical format. All right, next, we've got the Beatles' Revolver. But before we really dive into this specific thing, let's just talk about the Beatles for a second. I hate the Beatles. And at the same time, I love the Beatles, and they're one of my favorite bands. The reason I hate the Beatles is because no matter what pressing, no matter what album, no matter from what country, there is always somebody in the Discogs review section that's like, yeah, this isn't the right one. This isn't the right one. No, there's a better one than this. If it ain't the UK, if it's not the UK first press, it's not it, Chief. And then you go look at the UK first presses, and all of the conditions are good plus, and they're still $300. So it's like you can't even win anymore. And you know what? I got this one because it's an all-analog press from Japan. I thought it'd be good. And you know what? The high end's too high. And quite frankly, I'd just rather listen to my CD copy. And I've kind of officially decided with the Beatles that I'm done doing it. I'm just listening to them on CD. And maybe some of you in the comment section will scoff and blah, 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 blah. But frankly, I could care less at this point. I don't want to spend thousands of dollars trying to find the right Beatles pressing of every single album. I'm sick of it, and I'm just going to listen to Revolver on my CD player. No one was getting mad at me for that, but I just really needed to let that off my chest. Happier terms. Jim Croce, Life and Time. Oh, Life and Times. I Got a Name. This is the second best Jim Croce album. This first best being I Don't Want to Mess Around, or You Don't Want to Mess Around with Jim. Third being Life and Times, and then finally Facets, or I forget what that record's called. And if you disagree with that, you're wrong. Anyway, I keep saying anyway like that. But this, one of my favorite songs off this is Working at the Car Wash Blues. That is such a fun, catchy song, and I love this album cover. This is just like, it's perfect. Is it the orange text, the like 77 Up logo, and him just smoking a cigarette in a white beater. It's awesome. Next, we've got punk rock classic Agent Orange, Living in Darkness. Now, I already own a copy of this as an LP, but it's signed by Mike Palm and in a frame. I got to see the Mike Palm version of Agent Orange, and it was awesome, and he signed my record, and I was squealing like a little girl that I was even in the presence of a god, basically. But I've been waiting out to get this particular version. This is the Drastic Plastic release. And it's blue. It's blue kind of like the cover, and I think that's pretty sick. I didn't want to get a black pressing of it. I wanted to wait out for something special, and this was it. All of those 3 previous records I just did were all from a lot that I kind of assembled based off of seller's inventory. Next, we got something that's a little bit out of the way for me. This is Peter, Paul, and Mary, 10 Years Together. The reason I got this is because it has Leaving on a Jet Plane on it, and I like that song just like everybody else does, and I had a buddy tell me the rest of the album's really good too. So I'm excited to listen to it. I'm going to guess this is going to feel a lot like James Taylor's Greatest Hits, where you can just put it on and every single song is completely gold. Next, we're doing a little bit of a country deep dive with James Taylor, Trying Like the Devil. Now, this has a song on it, Deep Country Blues. That's like one of my favorite country songs of all time, and if you haven't listened to it, you should. And this whole album's really good. James Taylor is not a name that gets talked about a lot. He had another record, I can't remember the name of it. It's like white, and it's like We Got Bread, Milk, blah 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 blah. It's like a super long album name. I don't even know if you'd be able to fit it on the spine here, but this is his best record right here. All right, next we've got 2 VMP releases. I know, isn't that cool? Vinyl Me Please, the company that everybody loves, and the minute they press something good, it just goes up to $100 in value, and you don't get it because you weren't in the club. Love those guys. Anyway, we've got Freddie King, My Feeling for the Blues. What can be said about Freddie King that already hasn't been said by a bunch of white people like me? Great guitar player, awesome vocalist, great songs. This is a mono cut of it, so I'm not even going to be able to listen to it how it's properly supposed to sound, but I'm still really glad to just have a Freddie King album. Next, we've got my boy, Waylon Jennings, Taker / Tulsa. Believe it or not, I actually haven't listened to this album, but look how sick that is, that green. Not enough records do green. And so I was really happy to get a green pressing of this. So super excited to dive into this one. Continuing with the Waylon Jennings theme, and our last record of the day, this is At JD's. This was a 2015 Record Store Day release. This is not an original version of it. There are a couple like Waylon Jennings Holy Grails that I would want someday, and that is an original of this and Joel Blow, the first 7-inch that he ever recorded. But this is really cool. So if you don't know, Waylon Jennings, before he was signed to RCA, worked at it. Well, I think he was also signed to RCA during some of it. But anyway, he worked for a club called JD's that was basically centered around his act, and this is a recording of one of the shows. Now, in '64, there was a pressing of this same exact thing. There was like 500 and then maybe a second run of 500, and those albums you can't find. If you find them, they're just not in good condition. So they did a repress so everybody could enjoy this, and it has, it's kind of funny, it has White Lightning on it, which was one of the first that he did as a Buck Owens song. But this, I am so excited. And another thing is interesting about this is that the vocals, he doesn't do the vocals all the time. There's 2 songs where he doesn't do the vocals on this, he's just playing guitar. So it's going to be very interesting to hear Waylon Jennings in that context. All right, now that we're through the records, it's time to dive into what was one of my best Goodwill CD hauls ever.
Hey, Steve-O! you!
And that was last we saw of Mark.
All right, so I'll be honest, there are like maybe 3 or 4 CDs that I don't have here, that I got in this like little thing I got from Goodwill, or this lot that I got from a Goodwill store that I'm keeping in my car. They're albums that I already had on CD and just wanted a copy for my car. And some might be wondering, why wouldn't you just use the CDs you already own? It's because I don't trust my car's CD player, because it's a thing that is going like this constantly, and I'm scared it's going to get stuck. So I always keep doubles in my car of albums that I already own that I want to listen to. But starting off, I may have completed all of the Led Zeppelin records that I need, like CD-wise. So we've got In Through the Outdoor, Houses of Holy, Led Zeppelin 3. I didn't own this in any format, and in fact, I didn't own In Through the Outdoor in any format either. And Physical Graffiti. I'm really excited about Physical Graffiti because like this always costs like $8 or $10 in secondhand stores. I got it for $2. I got all of these for $2. Led Zeppelin 3, kind of not gonna lie. I mean, when you're comparing this to 1 and 2, it kind of teeters off. But hey, listen, it's got a bunch of good songs on it. They bring it back strong with Houses of Holy, and then In Through the Outdoor is kind of a dud. Next is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, A Night in Tunisia. This album is crazy. Play the clip. Yeah, bizarre. I want to get more Art Blakey stuff just because it's like, it's jazz that's like just, it's like when you're like playing like Call of Duty when you're like 14 years old and you and your buds think you're pretty good at it, and then someone just comes in and sweeps the floor. That's this. Next, this is probably the most expensive CD that I got. This is Megadeth on Combat Records. I don't know I don't know if it's owned by a different company now, but this is like a $10 to $20 CD, and I actually hadn't listened to any Megadeth before this, and this is awesome. I really, really like this a lot, so I'm hopeful to get maybe more of their classic records and kind of hear them out. SOD. I know nothing about this band. It has a skeleton on it and a bunch of songs, so I said sure. Next is Fleetwood Mac. Now, I had a vinyl LP version of this, but it kind of sounded like shit. It was really noisy, so I just ended up just selling this and getting it on CD with this lot. I also have Rumors on CD, and I really don't plan to get LP versions of those. I'd hate to steal them from 16-year-old white girls who own a Croce turntable or record player. And then finally, Jar of Flies. This thing is sick. I've been listening to this more and more, and it's a really awesome EP. I'm kind of glad that, because not a lot of big rock bands like this will put out an EP in their career, and I think 7-song albums / EPs are a really, really good move, and it's a way to really trim the fat, and I think a lot of albums could benefit from doing something like that. So to have the foresight to do that is really cool on Alice in Chains' part. Next, so that's all the stuff that I got from Goodwill that day. So, I mean, you're talking, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 12 CDs that I got from someone just trading in or donating their lot. Next is some cool hip-hop stuff. I know I've said in the last video that I don't really do hip-hop, but I found a bunch of albums that in that genre that I do like, starting off with Stakes is High, De La Soul. I literally pissed myself when I saw this on a shelf. I got it for $3. Super excited. I really, really like De La Soul. This and The Grind Date are fantastic records. I mean, what can you say? 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. This was one that I saw and I was like, well, you know, I mean, this is kind of jazz standards, so to speak. And yeah, it's really, really good. I enjoy it a lot. Next is Jay-Z The Blueprint. This shit rocks. I mean, you can definitely tell, like, not a Kanye type influence, because obviously this was made before Kanye even had a career, but like you can kind of see where Kanye got some of his beat making, and it is definitely like the swankiness of The Blueprint, which is kind of funny that it's called The Blueprint. All right, and then finally, we have 2 jazz records. Come on, I mean, we all saw it coming. Bill Evans' Compact Jazz, and look at this, Schroeder's Greatest Hits. So this is just a compilation of a bunch of like classical songs that, I don't know, maybe he played throughout the programs or something like that, but I got it just because, like, it's so cute looking at him playing the piano and stuff. And then you got all these 6 songs. You got Tchaikovsky, Brahms, Mozart, Beethoven, the whole lot. So this is gonna be awesome. And then finally, we got 2 hardcore releases. Now, this is super exciting because you can never find hardcore CDs, so I'm super glad we have 2 of them today. Drain California Cursed. Personally, I like Living Proof better, but you really can't go wrong with either of these records. Just slammers back to back. I'm really excited for when November finally comes around, which, let's talk about that for a second. Drain, why did you announce an album, 5 months before it was going to happen? What's the point in that? You got enough singles to be... Everyone's going to lose interest by the time November rolls around. But hey, we'll try to listen to it. And then finally, big shout out, local band, Hammer. I've run sound for these guys like 4 or 5 times probably. They're slam dunkers. They're no mess arounders. I mean, this stuff is great. And little 4-song EP in the proper jewel case. We love to see it. And that's everything that we got in June. So like I said, not a huge variety of stuff, but a lot of really cool lots, a lot of really cool albums. Please rate this video 5 stars if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, log off, son. We'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.